Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my widefield setup, which is this little beauty here. This is the Ashgar FRA 300 quadruple sitting on a Skywatcher Star Adventure GTI go-to little computer mount. Now this is going to be my setup from now on. I did have the Skywatcher 72 ED on here. As I say, I've upgraded it. Now I have had first light with this, and I wish I got the comet cluster with this wide field setup because there was no nebulas that was up at that time. So I've done that. I also later on I've taken 3 hours 40 minutes on the Sadr region. But anyway, and that was with the L Pro. Anyway, so the Star Adventure, I basically plugged it into this little Azure Mini, and it's connected, no problems. I did have to just select the mount, and once I'd done that, it was fine. It's connected straight away. I think it does help if you got the modern Mini. I was using my original Pro capture. It was um, it was a bit convoluted. I had to change the settings in the Star Adventure to match the C.W.O software. Now it is doable, but this was so much easier. I've got a 5 kilo weight on it. It'll just only come with 2.5 kilos, the GTI, which is it's just not really enough. If it's going to take 5 kilos, then I would expect 5 kilo. Even when it's right at the end, I was having trouble bouncing. But it would put me bigger weight on, even though it's slid right up the shaft. It's quite it bounces well, and it improves the garden. Garden is usually between 1 and 2 half minutes seconds. Um, it does go sub like point 0.7, point 0.8 is probably the best it'll get. But with this setup, and the resolution is 2.6, I believe, with this camera and everything. So I'm well within the tolerances of the resolution of the camera. Now I have captured images. I did get the comet cluster with this camera, but as I've had this mount a bit longer than that. So with the 72 ED on it, I did capture the Leo triplet. This is the image here. It's not bad. I think it's 3 hours or so. All 2 minute subs, because this any more than 2 minute subs, I'll be throwing a few of them away because there's a pair of odds ahead that I think it needs greasing up a bit more probably because they're always a bit tight with the grease in these factories. Um, so I've got the Leo triplet. I've also um, captured recently was the was Comet. Now let's see now. C 2023 A3 Chushin Shan Atlas. Now it's currently in Virgo, and it's 400 million kilometers away, which is really far. So I swung round and had a look, and it's showing a tail, quite a large tail considering the distance it is. Now this comet has come from the Oort cloud. We'll never ever see it again. Now it's due to pass fairly on at 56 million kilometers, I believe, around September time, October, and it'll still be up. Well, it'll be a different place then, obviously. And I would be reckon this could be naked eye. Could be another one of them bright ones. So I've got a little lapse, and when I was imaging with me 120 ED, I swung that round, and I've done 45 minutes worth on it just to see if it get any more detail. There's not overly great amount of detail because the solar winds is not, it is moving a tail, but you're not going to get a twin tail yet. It needs to be a lot closer to the sun. And speaking of the solar winds, we recently had the aurora borealis. You've probably seen it's been all over the internet and YouTube. Now, when I was capturing, done a little bit of data on the Sadie region, and I was imaging with me 120 ED, and I noticed my images were going pretty bad. So I come outside my little warm room. I was looked up and I thought it's quite clear, and then I noticed that the red in the sky. I thought, what's that? And I completely took me by surprise. I hadn't realised it was going to be aurora that night. So luckily enough, I just caught the start of it about 11:30 it was. And as I looked up and I'd seen the reds, and then it just got better and better. I managed to take some pictures on me phone, with me sat up there, and it just mesmerising. It's something I'd always wanted to see all my life, and it saves me a trip to Iceland now. I suppose they're not going to be happy, of course, because they're going to lost a lot of tourists because of this. The aurora being seen around so far south, and I was really amazed with it, and I got some lovely little few-second images because they like pollution, but I was really I didn't do any time lapse. That's the only thing I should have done, but I was so in awe of it, and it's once in a lifetime, and it's very humbling seeing something like that. And you folks that live in North Canada and these high northern latitudes, I know in summer you don't get much darkness, but you do get some lovely light shows, don't you? So it does have its blessings. Anyway, so that's what I've done. I've captured some images, galaxies. I've also, because galaxy season coming to an end now, it's the galaxies I caught was, I'd say, the comet cluster. I also caught Mercurian's chain. I got a few hours on that, and here's the image here. That was it's something I like to capture because I've gone through a phase of see. I want to see the Mercurian's chain. I captured it quite a while ago with this little guy watching GTI, and all 2 minute seconds, 2 minute subs, and I stacked them up, and I'm reasonably pleased with it for the widefields. With the Galaxy season, if you look, I've recently put some videos on of M181 Bose Galaxy and M51. I've also captured a Edge on Spiral Galaxy, the Needle Galaxy. Now I think I got 11 hours worth in that. I will check. I will put it up, and if you see the image here, I'm not doing a processing video on it, but I wanted to capture that one, and it's overall. I think it's come. I'm quite pleased with that one's come out. Again, with that setup, I used to be 120 ED, but I used the narrow bands, red, green, and blue, all 2 minute subs. So I was quite pleased with that one turned up. So that's it. This is my setup. I know I've waffled on a little bit about other things. This is my setup I'm gonna use for all the summer and all my wide field stuff. This will stay like this. It's really light. It's probably 11 kilos. I can just carry it out all together. I don't have to mess with it. Now they do say about this cap, the polar cap, is rubbish. It is. But what you can do is just heat the little tabs up and just bend them out a little bit. And if you bend them out, I'll leave that there. It'll fall off again. If you bend them out, it'll stay on. It's such an easy fix, but it is a bit annoying when it falls off in the dark. You end up standing on it. Yeah, that's it. I'd also recommend with this mount is the accessory tray. Put a 5 kilo weight on it because with the weight on top, it does feel a bit top heavy when you're carrying it, and it doesn't. It's just to keep this centre of gravity quite low and it'll help your guiding and stuff, I'd definitely put a weight on that tray. Not sure if 5 kilos is plenty, and that'll just help stabilise it, because this extension pair they have on it, they're a little bit wobbly. You can see that wobbling like that. It's any sort of wind, it's going to be all over the show, but you've got to try and keep it sheltered. So that's it. Guys, go cameras. I will change this to a DSLR. I do have my old Canon 550D. Now that's an APS-C size sensor. I will put probably an L Extreme. I've got a 2-inch L Extreme. I'll probably put that in the filter holder of the scope, and then I'll have the Canon 550D, and I will use that because it can be controlled by the Razier Mini, and take some really nice wide fields. One of my projects is when they comes high enough, I want to get the heart and soul in the camera view. Otherwise, it's like mosaics. But if I can do that, try and get that in. There's lots of wide field views I'd like to take. So that's the plan, and that'll be that's a whole new ball game with the uncooled DSLRs. Now I did do a full mod on that myself, and luckily enough I didn't ruin it. But you can pick them up really cheap. If you pick them up really cheap, you can kind of have a really affordable setup for not too bad of money. That's where I got up to. That did take 3 hours on IC 1396 Elephant Trunk, because as it got late, I managed to get 3 hours in on it. Again, that was split over a couple of nights, because recently we did have some nights, so that's what I done, and I got 3 hours worth on that. Obviously not enough, but I wanted to see what it'd be like. I did have the 533 on, cool to -5, and I put the L Extreme filter in for the Elephant Trunk, and I've processed that, the little process. Obviously, it was noisy and stuff for such a short integration time from my portal, but I've colorized it with and it's not too bad. I'm reasonably pleased with it. So much a bigger field of view. So that's it. Not a long one. It's just the setup for the coming nebula season. Galaxy season's finished, and as I say, I did have some lots of images of galaxies. What I was talking about before, I've shown there. I'll leave them all at the end, and that's it for this one. So thank you for watching. If you managed to last this long, if you haven't subscribed, please consider giving us a subscription and hit that little bell. It really does help the channel grow. So thank you once again, and be safe, be well, clear skies.